last time we have set up our Figma file. You can see we also introduced some of the branding, including the name and the logo. Today we're going to be actually working more on that, but today we're going to be creating a design system, right? So I'm going to call it system here. You can also call it design system. But the system is basically the components that we're going to be using to build up our landing page. Today we're going to be focusing on two of those components, which are actually the primary fonts and the colors. If we go back to the branding page here, you can see that we already set that up. We have two of our primary colors, and also we have our font. So we need a system in order to organize that into something that can be reusable and that will be making it easier for us going forward. So how do we start? I'm just going to start by dragging out a frame. Let's start from the colors here. I'm going to be dragging out a frame. Let's give it this color here. Going forward, we're gonna be making most of these colors variables, including this black color for the background. But for today, I'm just gonna be focusing on these two primary brand colors, and this is like a UI color, more of it's more uh, entangled with the UI rather than the branding. So we're gonna be doing that later on. But for now, here we have this frame. I'm gonna call it our colors here. I want to put it inside of an also layout here, and we have a 32 pixel gap on 64 by 64 padding. Then the first thing you want to do is you want to drag out a square here around maybe 64 by 64 here. Let's lock that in. Lock the aspect ratio, and I'm going to give it some corner radius around 8. Again, most of this stuff we're going to be including in the design system, but for now we're just going to be doing it by hand. Okay, so now I'm just going to go here. Let's take this greenish color and apply to the fill. So now we have our color here. This is going to be our greenish. I think it's sort of, I'm going to call it sort of a green, right? So bluish green. I'm not sure of the proper name to call this, but I'm going to call it green, and this is going to be the 500s. So green 500 basically means if we have like a scale, if we have something like this, where we go from full white to full black here, the ones at the top will have 900 as their scale, and the ones at the bottom will have 100. And if you go at the middle, we will have 500. So this 500 basically means that this is the midline for our green. And since we might use a different sort of green later on, I'm going to call this brand green, as we have two types of brands colors. Also, I'm just going to go in here, and first of all, let's just copy this, and we're just going to paste that in. One thing to do here, I want to make everything here lowercase. Let's just go here, apply the lowercase, and I don't want it to be full white. Just reduce its contrast or lightness, and let's decrease its size. I'm going to make it 32. Then I'm going to select these two. I'm going to actually call this frame the brand green 500, and I'm going to call this color. Now after doing that, you can just align it properly here. Take this on the top. Just want to align everything around 16 pixel. And let's just decrease this size to around 24. Great. Okay. The final thing to do would be to go here, and I'm going to give it a a style here. For this, I'm gonna call this basically our green. When actually I see a color here, it says mint, and I think that's it more resembles what we want. So I'm gonna call it mint 500. And I'm gonna change it here. Okay, so now we have this applied. Also, I want to select everything here, scroll down, and also at some point, we're going to be needing to apply this sort of gradient to our styles, but I'm not going to have that in the style since it's very specific use. So again, I'm just going to call this the logo grad. So just call this logo grad, and I think that's enough for it currently. So we have our mint color here. I'm just going to duplicate it. Following this, we would have our pink color, right? So I'm just going to go back to branding one more time. And I'm just going to take this pinkish color here and return to the system and apply it here. Also, don't forget to apply it here. Okay, so it's already lowercase because of the styling we put on it. Okay, so these are our two primary colors. Obviously, we will need to apply the pink here as well. But this one is a bit lighter. So I'm going to go around pink 600. And that's it. So also, I'm just going to go and apply this to the pink 500. Actually, it was in the style. So pink 500. So we're just going to be having our colors in the style and like the text and stuff in the variables, the sizes and stuff, I mean. So let's just create this. So you can see under our color styles, we have these three color styles. And maybe we would want to actually reuse the gradient. So I'm just going to bring it over here. And I'm going to call this logo grad here, logo grad, standing for logo gradients. And I'm going to apply this color to it. It's good to have generally. Yeah, so currently we have these three as our primary color styles. And going forward, we're going to be adding much more. And at the end of the project, this will grow exponentially into a very large color style scheme here. But for today, I think this is quite enough. And next up, we want to work on the fort. Now, I've selected this font, which is Helvetica. The reason for selecting Helvetica is because it aligns with the kind of website we're going to be making. It's going to be modern, minimal, clean. It's going to be borrowing some elements from the popular Swiss design style. And it is also free, which is one of the most important factors here. You don't have to pay anything to use it, so you can just download it and use it for free. So let's go back here, and I'm going to duplicate this and just bring it over here. So let's just space it out properly here. I like to use 40 spacing because that's the default by Figma. So yeah, we're just going to change this to fonts. And let's remove everything here. And for the fonts, let's just have it some like this here. And this will be Helvetica. So I'm going to be using regular. But yeah, let's just increase the size here around to 128. And okay, everything here should be Helvetica, by the way. Everything should be Helvetica, and from over here, we can just bring this over here and call this Helvetica. Helvetica main, which is going to be our primary color, our primary font. So let's just take these two, put them in auto layout, 16 pixels, align them properly, and we are done here with our primary color. Now here you can see a bit more of an additional spacing. I'm just going to remove this like this currently, but moving forward, we're going to be doing, um, we're going to be removing the light height in a much better way. So I'm going to call this Helvetica main. Okay, so this will be our primary font. Now throughout this course, we might be using one or two different fonts, but I think I'm not going to be going overboard because this is a beginner sort of, not completely a beginner, but this is not a course that will focus on using like 10, 20 fonts. Most of the time, these sort of minimal websites, they get their minimalism in their lower number of selections. So they don't go overboard with any of their components. Minimal colors, minimal font selection, minimal sizing differences. So we're going to be focusing on that as well. So probably Helvetica will be the font that we're going to be using extensively throughout this course. Okay, so that's the font. Those were the colors. Only thing that remains is to set this font here, and unfortunately we can't really do it uh, like in a way that is we set one font alone. We can actually use maybe we can use variables for the font, but I have a better way of doing that, which we're going to be just using typography styles here, or typography variables in Figma. So we're not going to be setting that here. We're going to be doing that as we go. So the next time we will probably start designing. We're going to be starting with the nav bar, which is what I like to start with from top to bottom of the website. So we're going to be starting with the nav bar, and not only the nav bar, but also throughout that we're going to be setting up our variables, our projects, and overall we're going to be trying to make this more clean and proper. So obviously management is a big part of design. It's not only designing, your Figma file should be well managed, because as it grows, if it is not proper, it will be very complicated and you will lose the will to keep on going and just keep on designing because it's cluttered. You can't find anything in it. Yeah, so we're going to be looking into some tips and tricks into management of your Figma projects. So that's going to be an interesting part of this course as well. Uh, yeah, I think this is quite enough for today. Next time we're going to be starting with the navbar, and we're going to be officially starting the design. See you there.